Hello there.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel today. It's Eli Moses. I'm a 21-year-old law and film student here in Sydney, Australia, trying to make my way on the YouTube universe. Hopefully you guys can tag along, join the ride, come along my fellow chat pirates and subscribers as we make our way to the YouTube galaxy. Today, I'm going to be talking Godzilla vs. Kong spoilers. This is a spoiler video. I'm going to break it down from the beginning of the film to the end. I just came out for my second screening of the film. I saw it last night and I saw it again tonight with all the boys, so it was a fantastic screening. Just going to give my quick thoughts on the film because definitely the second screening did open my eye a lot to the human element of the film a bit more, and there's glaring issues with it. If you're going to this film, as I said in my review, my non-spoiler review is up on the channel. I said it. If you're going to this film to see Godzilla and Kong kick the living hell out of each other, you do get that twice in the film. The monster action is phenomenal. The CGI is absolutely astounding in this film. The sound design as well is phenomenal. They nailed that to the T. The sound design is absolutely phenomenal. It's crazy. Just came out of my second screening. We sat there after the movie for 40 minutes talking with the boys about Kong, Godzilla. Some of my friends refused to accept defeat for the Titan that lost, and I'll get to that in the spoiler. But I'm not going to show any videos or any clips of the film in this video. I'm just going to talk spoilers and everything. If you love spoilers, if you love the tea being spilt, there you go. I'm going to spoil it. I'm going to spoil it all. I'm going to discuss it. Quick spoiler review and my thoughts. Hopefully you guys can enjoy it. That's what I'm going to give. So we begin the film, and first of all, I would like to say, please refrain from watching any of the TV spots or any people who post stuff on Twitter or YouTube. If you love to be spoiled, and that's why you're here. If you're watching the video, you love to be spoiled. Fair enough, watch it. But don't go spoiling it for the other people. Do it at your own will. Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, spoilers for this film. Heavy spoilers, heavy spoiler warning. I gotta keep warning. But here we go. We begin the film with the film actually begins with Kong on Skull Island, basically waking up, scratching his butt, taking a bath in the waterfall. Then we see the shot from the TV spot where he sends the tree branch into the sort of stratosphere, and it's sort of like a Hunger Games hex force field thing where it's just like it's a containment facility on Skull Island. So it's not a fake Skull Island, it's on Skull Island. It's just a containment facility. How they got Kong, how they built a containment facility around Kong, never explained in the film. Then we cut to some awesome title core where it just basically goes through a lot of the history and the ancient rivalries and paintings of Godzilla and Kong, and it also details a lot of the Hollow Earth expeditions. And sadly, this is the most explanation you get to the Hollow Earth in the film and the ancient rivalry of Godzilla vs. Kong and Kong, besides some few passing comments from certain characters. You got to pay attention a lot, and I paid much more attention on second viewing. There's a like intricate details about Hollow Earth expeditions, Godzilla vs. Kong, cave paintings and murals. There's a lot to it, and it basically ends with sort of like a Champions League draw where it's just like the final two standing at Godzilla and Kong, and basically it goes through the Titans they've defeated, or basically with Kong it says Skullcrawlers defeated, Godzilla it says Muto defeated, Ghidorah defeated, and then it basically ends up being these two in the final brackets, and I really like that. However, there was 17 Titans left standing, or 17 Titans and counting, at the end of Godzilla King of the Monsters. They are nowhere to be seen in this film. Did Godzilla defeat him in the 3 years that passes between this film and King of the Monsters? I have no idea. There's no explanation to the other 17 Titans, like Rodan. I can't remember the other names of them, but the Muto as well. There's another Muto. No explanation of that, like, whatsoever. I don't know what they were doing with that. But then yeah, we cut to Godzilla attacking an Apex facility in San Francisco. Then we have the introduction of Brian Tyree Henry, who works at an Apex facility in San Francisco. Then Godzilla attacks it. He's sort of like a lone survivor, and then he sees the eye of Mechagodzilla there, so like an eye prototype there. And then yeah, he's sort of like a podcast hoster. It's called Titan Truth Podcast, I believe. And yeah, he holds the podcast, and Millie Bobby Brown listens to that podcast. Now, this is where my issues in the film come. It's definitely with the Godzilla, Team Godzilla side of the film with Brian Tyree Henley, Millie Bobby Brown, and Julian Dennison, they could be removed from the film entirely because their plot line in terms of how they get to Hong Kong, because they end up being in Hong Kong where Mechagodzilla is absolutely ludicrous. So basically, Millie Bobby Brown realizes that Godzilla, there's something up. He's acting strange. She goes to tell her dad, Kyle Chandler, Dr. Russell, who's in it for a total than no more than 5 minutes in the film. He's hardly in the film, like hardly any screen time, like definitely a much lesser role than King of the Monsters. Doesn't believe him. Then she gets basically Julian Dennison, Josh, to steal his brother's car, and they go on a road trip to find his podcast. And the way they find him, he talks about bleach in his podcast. He apparently bathes in bleach, so that's how they find him. And they go bribe someone at an Asian like convenience store. I do not know how. I do not know how. Why? I don't know how they get there. They just bribe him. They find him somehow. And it's like, I'm on the same opinion. And then they break into the Apex facility where Godzilla attacked in San Francisco. Now, there is no security whatsoever. Apparently, this multi-trillion-dollar company, I guess, that is harboring certain things in the film, and I'm going to get to that, has no security whatsoever. They break into the Apex facility, and they wind themselves up in sort of like some underground tunnel tube system that goes throughout all of Earth, I guess. It's like an underground train system that's they get in like this little pod, and it's like an underground train system. Now the film does no explanation whatsoever. This is why the human being absolutely is atrocious. The film there's like little explanation whatsoever at explaining how Apex built these facilities, the legal ramifications, how they're able to build this underground tunnel system that goes from San Francisco to Hong Kong. It's like it's like speed racer pod, and like that's where the sci-fi elements do kick in this film. There's a lot unexplained with it. Okay, fair enough, it's like this pod, but the pods are harvesting skull crawlers, and Millie Bobby Brown's like, they're skull crawler eggs. Like, how do you know they're skull crawlers? You weren't on Skull Island, in Kong Skull Island. Like, maybe Monarch has information on that and you got that from your dad. Fair enough, that's the thing I can get. But how did Apex get access to skullcrawler eggs when in Kong Skull Island they say the skullcrawlers come from beneath the earth? And as we know, there's a Monarch facility established on Skull Island. So unless Apex took the eggs without Monarch knowing, but Monarch monitors everything on Skull Island, so how did they get the skullcrawler eggs from beneath the hollow earth? Now, the thing is with the film is that Damien Bashi's character and Ren Serzara, I don't know, Ren Serzara, you don't even know, if you do not know previously going into the film that that's Dr. Serizawa's son, you do not find out in the film at all. There's not a scene dedicated to his father, like even a photo or memorabilia. There's nothing. You don't know. He's such a throwaway character, like, and he meets his demise at the end, like really pathetically. Really expendable characters, both of them. Damien Bashi's, who's the CEO of Apex, and Ren Serzara, really terrible. Like, that human element is absolutely shocking. They recruit Nathan Lind, Alexander Skarsgård's character, because he's sort of like a Hollow Earth theorist, and he's written a book on it, and his brother passed away on a Hollow Earth expedition, and they recruit him because Apex has come up with Heaves, basically Hollow Earth aircraft vehicles that can journey through this anti-gravity space, because gravity sort of flips in the Hollow Earth. It's way different. They've created that, and they've located an entry in Antarctica. There you go. So yeah, that's the plot line with that. And basically Alexander Skarsgård goes to Rebecca Hall's character, and she's with Gia on Skull Island. It's like, we need Kong, the world needs no, that's not the yet. But basically to recruit Kong, because he's the entrance to the Hollow Earth, because his whole theory is basically genetic memory. Basically, if your ancestors with the Titans, if your ancestors come from that place, you will know, basically. And basically what Apex want to do is they want to harvest energy from the Hollow Earth to use for a project that can defeat Godzilla, which is Mechagodzilla in the end. So yeah, and the thing is, if you have gotten skullcrawler eggs from the Hollow Earth, why do you need Nathan Lind to get the Hollow Earth? And yeah, they've never attempted to go to the Hollow Earth before apparently, but they've got skullcrawler eggs from beneath the ground where they come from, the Hollow Earth specifically. So how it just completely makes sense. There's so much neglected in the plot. I don't know. I know I've been talking for 10 minutes, but I'm trying to spill all the tea. So basically, they get Kong on an aircraft carrier. There you go. Not explained at all how they move him from, get him sedated from Skull Island to the aircraft carrier. Completely, it just cuts that scene. Few interactions there, whatever. There's a few interesting and amazing scenes with Gia in particular because she's deaf. When it's in her perspective, it's sort of all the sound cuts out and she can hear Kong's heartbeat. And there's a few amazing, like there's one amazing scene at night where basically Kong, you've seen it in the trailer, Kong puts out his fingernail and they touch each other, and basically that's the first time she communicates with it, and it's really fantastic. It's really good stuff, that stuff with Gia. I really find the Kong element and the human bit in Godzilla vs Kong the strongest aspect of the film. Like Alexander Skarsgård, Rebecca Hall, and Gia, they're the really core components. They're really strong. Actually, I really found that human element to be fine, like really fine. And the Godzilla part is where it falls apart because they Team Godzilla, where Godzilla does his own stuff in the film. He shows up as he pleases. He's really much a side character in this film. He doesn't really show up as much, but basically they get to Hong Kong and they end up in the middle of a Mechagodzilla experiment, and there's a skullcrawler involved. The Mechagodzilla just wrecks the skullcrawler, and then they journey their way through the facility, and it's just completely ludicrous. And that's later in the film as well. I'm jumping where like between scenes, but then you have the aircraft carrier scene, which is great. The battle's fantastic. The sound design is absolutely amazing. However, the trailers did show a lot of it. There's not much in addition to the trailers and TV spots of the aircraft carrier scene. This is the first round, and Godzilla does come on top in round one. Besides, he would have killed Kong if it wasn't for some human intervention, where they launched some bombs or torpedoes into the ocean, which basically distracted Godzilla or released his hold he had on Kong, because he had him strangled and he was pulling him down to the depths of the ocean. But then those sort of torpedoes saved it, and then basically to get Godzilla away, they turned off all their aircraft carriers, turned off all their weapon systems to show that they're not a threat and they're playing dead sort of. So Godzilla just ignores them for some reason instead of finishing the job. I don't know. But then they transport Kong to the Hollow Earth entry station in Antarctica. Now this is where another world building aspect is a big problem as well, because the Hollow Earth entry station, well, it's in Antarctica and supposedly made by Apex, because Monarch is not involved here. Monarch is Carl Chandler's character, and that's separate to the film. So whatever. Apparently in King of the Monsters, when Monarch had a station on Antarctica, they didn't know about the Hollow Earth entry. So I have no idea. And they've built this underground cave and tunnel system that goes right to the Hollow Earth. Like, this would have taken, I don't know how long to build. There's no explanation to it. And they transport Kong via ospreys, which is, I don't know how it can carry him. Physics is not in this film, but yeah, I'm just gonna say that. But this is like not detracting from them. I'm just saying a lot of the human elements and the stuff they got wrong in this spoiler thing. And this is where my first issue with the film came. It's the scaling. The scaling is really off in this film. Even though Kong is meant to be 100 meters tall, I think he's about 109 from memory. I cannot remember. He's over 100 meters in this film. The Hollow Earth, entry station basically dwarfs him. It's basically 3 times the size of him. That's like 300 meters. And Kong is 100 meters. Think the size of a football field. That's how tall Kong is. And throughout this film, he didn't look much bigger than his Kong version in Skull Island, which was 30 meters. Like, he didn't, like, in Kong Skull Island, he looked bigger and intimidating than some scenes in this film. But that's because the environment Kong was surrounded in basically dwarfed him. And especially that scene with the Hollow Earth entry, it dwarfed Kong. And then when you get to the Hollow Earth looks absolutely amazing. The CGI in this film is absolutely amazing. You get to the Hollow Earth, they go through some portal thing. This is where the sci-fi elements come in. Go through some portal thing, they get to the Hollow Earth, absolutely amazing. Kong has the encounters of the Warbats, whoops their ass, and then yeah, goes to his ancestors' home, I guess. And the scaling is really off here as well, because there's like cliffs that are kilometers long if you take into effect how tall Kong is. And then Kong goes into sort of this ancient temple of his species and finds the axe on the floor, sort of in the head of a lizard-like creature, I guess. It's not a Kong species. It's not a skull crawler skull. It looks like a mini Godzilla. Basically takes the axe from there, and basically this sort of temple dwarves Kong as well. Like, it dwarves him. Like, he looks really small to it, so the scale is really off-putting at times. So that's why when I say Kong made him look bigger than sometimes some scenes in this movie, it's because the environment surrounding Kong didn't do, like, dwarfed him. They didn't do a good job at showing that Kong had grown to 100 meters. Like, he looked very similar to his Kong counterpart in Skull Island. And yeah, basically he gets the axe. Godzilla attacks Hong Kong, senses it, uses atomic breath, blasts through the hollow earth, and basically reaches there because he senses, I guess, the axe was turned on, and they harness the energy. So Isa Gonzalez's character is Damien Bashi's daughter, and she's in the film. She's really expendable. You could take her out of the film. She's there for eye candy. She's really good looking, so I'm not gonna say, yeah, you know. But so basically they harvest the hollow earth energy, which glows in the ground, which is like that glowing Godzilla-like creature from the trailer. They harvest the blue energy from the ground, but they transfer their energy from this like little, I guess, orb or like rock mineral. They transfer the energy via sound waves or something to the Apex facility from the hollow earth somehow, and they receive that energy and transfer it to put into Mechagodzilla because they need that energy to make him fully operational. I do not know how that works. Like, there's no explanation. If you stop and think about it, it's absolutely ludicrous. And basically Mechagodzilla is piloted by Ren Serizawa. It's sort of like Pacific Rim. There's a lot of Pacific Rim 2 elements and Transformers Age of Extinction elements in this film that remind me. I'll get to it. Basically, he drifts through King Ghidorah's skull from King of the Monsters. He drifts through it through Mechagodzilla, and there's one weird shot where he looks like he's climaxing. It's so weird when they're doing a test run on the skull crawler. It's so weird. And there's a scene where our three Godzilla heroes, Millie Bobby Brown, Brian Tyree Henry, and Julian Dennison, are walking through, and they see Ren Serizawa hooked up to the thing, and he's in a trance. And the next scene, he's in the room with Damien Bashi, and our other characters like are in another place as well. Like, there's no sense of location in the Apex facility. Like, for $1 trillion company, they really need to invest in some security cameras. They just walk around and infiltrate a lot of really secure places. Like, it's really weird. Although the production design is amazing with the King Ghidorah skull, like the neon lit lights, it looks fantastic. But yeah, like the human element and that aspect, absolutely ludicrous. And then Godzilla and Kong get their showdown in this is probably the spoiler bit you want to know. I know I'm 17 minutes in, I'm sorry guys, but Godzilla and Kong get to their showdown in Hong Kong. It's absolutely epic, absolutely epic. Kong goes through, basically he jumps down because the hollow earth basically anti-gravity, like gravity is reversed, so he jumps down the beam Godzilla shot through, lands in Hong Kong, does his intimidation scene. They fight for 5 minutes straight. It's like a one take scene of them just like absolutely beating the crap out of each other. It's absolutely amazing. The scene from the trailer, you see where Kong has the axe and lands his blow, and then Alexander Skarsgård delivers a line where he's like, guess round 2 goes to Kong. No man, the Hong Kong battle's still going. And then that's when you have that scene in and then it cuts to Mechagodzilla, where they lose control of him when his energy gets, I don't know, full power. He basically becomes self-aware and basically overrides the system. Ren takes out Damien Bashi's character during his big villain speech through the window. Ren Serizawa basically gets electrocuted. I don't know, his brain gets fried. So basically it's similar to Transformers Age of Extinction, where Galvatron is sort of made from the mind of Megatron, and basically he gets his own conscious and basically overrides the body of Galvatron to become Megatron again. And this is what happens to Mechagodzilla. It's basically like King Ghidorah working its ways, becomes self-aware. They don't explain how he becomes self-aware, they just lose control, system override. And then it cuts back to Godzilla. Kong gets the upper hand a little bit, but then Godzilla basically does a jujitsu flip on him, and then Godzilla, we see an ability he's never done before in any of the films. He basically crawls on all fours, lizard-like, and completely maws Kong, scratches his skin. Kong had already had an atomic breath blast to the back, completely mauls him, and Kong is basically scared shitless. He's like crawling on his back trying to get away. Then you see that scene in the TV spot. This is why the TV spot spoiled so many shots. Godzilla steps on his chest, and Kong is basically trying to muster so much energy, but you can tell he's hurt. Godzilla roars at him, leaves him alone. Godzilla's won. Kong tries to get back up, submits. Total defeat. Kong is defeated to Godzilla. Godzilla is the clear and obvious winner in the battle, and then basically Mechagodzilla comes to the fray, and then Mechagodzilla does his usual destruction. You see in the scene in the first trailer where the mountain is blowing up. That's Mechagodzilla coming in. Mechagodzilla gets the upper hand of Godzilla really easy, beats the living crap out of him. But then Gia, Alexander Skarsgård, and Rebecca Hall's character come, and Gia realizes because she touches the ground she can feel Kong's heartbeat. Kong's dying. Kong basically dying, his heartbeat slowing. So they use the heave to revive Kong, sort of like as a defibrillator, because it can generate enough energy to light up Las Vegas. They say it previously in the film, so they use that to revive Kong. Kong gets back up, and this is where the film really did a good job, even though I was Team Godzilla all the way, of liking Kong. It's such a badass moment. He gets up, his shoulders basically dislocated, rams it into the building, shrugs it off, gets ready to fight, joins the fight with Mechagodzilla. However, this victory is short-lived. Mechagodzilla does get the better of them too, absolutely whoops their ass. He has like he's very mobile, Mechagodzilla, in terms he has like sort of like jet blasters from the side. He can easily evade Godzilla's atomic breath. He's pretty strong. Like he chucks Godzilla around like he's nothing. He sort of has like a gravity pulse or gravity beam from his within his punches. He has sort of like a claw drill thing, and basically this is where my major issue with the film comes. Basically, Mechagodzilla is not really defeated by Godzilla or Kong. Sure, Kong delivers the final blow with his axe because Godzilla charges it, but before that, our humans up in the mountain, they're trying to get Mechagodzilla offline. So there's this sort of plot device introduced early on with Brian Tyree Henry, with his wife giving him like a flask of alcohol, and Julian Dennison gets the flask of alcohol and pours it down on the computer and basically blows up the system, and that basically caused Mechagodzilla to malfunction for a little bit, and then they get the upper hand, and then obviously Kong decapitates him, rips him limb from limb, which is awesome to look at. However, they just said 10 minutes ago my man has become self-aware and you get defeated by alcohol. My man got defeated by whiskey. Like, come on, like Hollywood, you can think of something better than that. You had years to think of this. Like, why do humans need to be involved in Mechagodzilla's defeating? Like, you could have had Kong and Godzilla, like, do some WWE move shit. I don't know, do some cool WWE moves on him. Like, it's completely ludicrous what he does. It's, like, you just had to have the humans be involved in that final battle. Why can't let the Titans be at the epicenter and defeat Mechagodzilla in a unique way, some cool team up move? But no, you had to have the humans get involved and make him malfunction. So basically that happens, the world is saved. Godzilla ends up roaring while we have sort of like our humans bonding in the end, and everyone gets scared, and then Kong's basically down and out. He's still laying on a building. He gets back up. They have one final stare down ready for round 3, but Kong drops the axe. Godzilla goes into the ocean, and then it plays some like slow methodical music, and then it cuts to Kong on Skull Island, not Skull Island, Kong in the Hollow Earth. Basically, Monarch is setting up a system, a monitoring system in the Hollow Earth for Kong, and he has a few swinging scenes, and it has Kong standing in the Hollow Earth looking over. Basically, Kong is the king of the Hollow Earth, and then the film cuts to black. So there you go. There's no post-credit scene for the film. But yeah, they're my quick spoiler thoughts. I know it's 24 minutes, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you liked it. I'm spilling the spoilers here, but that's if you guys want the breakdown of the film. There you go. There it is. The human element. The Kong side is actually okay, but yeah, the film does a poor job at the Godzilla side of the story. It's completely ludicrous. There's so much unexplained, and I could delve into it way more, but that's just a few of the issues I can pinpoint from memory just off the bat. And yeah, the scaling is really off in this film as well. Like, although the Hong Kong battle does a good job at depicting the scaling, like, of these two behemoths, there's other scenes in the film that completely neglect how big these titans really are because of the environment surrounding them. It really does dwarf them, especially when Kong is jumping from aircraft to aircraft carrier without like sort of even denting or damaging the other aircraft carriers. Kong in the Hollow Earth looks particularly small. As I said, Kong Skull Island, Kong looks bigger than he did in some scenes in this film. But there you go, guys. That's me spilling the spoilers of Godzilla vs. Kong. It's been Ellie Moses. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to do a top 5 best and worst moments of Godzilla vs. Kong. Hopefully you guys appreciate that. I'm sorry if you guys don't want a spoiler review, but if you've watched it, you've watched it. That's your own prerogative. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. As always, it's been Ellie Moses. Take care, God bless, and peace.